when I decided that I was going to join band, I looked through the registry of instruments, and I was like, I can't do percussion, I can't keep my hands in time, I can't play wood when my fingers fumble too much for that. I'll play the one that looks easy, and I'll pick it up here. You know, I thought it looked pretty easy. I thought, you know, okay, how hard can it be? It's a big slide whistle.
We're walking into one of the best marching band programs in the state of Arizona in 6A and meeting one of the best musicians in this program, Bailey Kane. So let's come on in. Let's get to know Bailey today. Bailey, I thought we'd start off by just having you tell me a little bit about when you first decided to get involved in band. What was your parents' reaction?
They were indifferent, and I think they thought it was like one of those like, oh, you know, you go ahead, honey, go ahead and join band for a year.
Tell me a little bit more about how you finally figured out you have a true passion for music.
As a 13-year-old, I thought it was just the coolest, most fun thing in the world, just to be able to make music, and I looked up to like the greats, and I looked up to some of the people here at the time, and I thought, I want to be like that. Like any athletic activity, there's a certain heart that goes into every game or every performance. And the IT performance is what we call it. It was the first year that our program had made Super State in the division we were in. So Super State is like the state championships. Right. And so we were performing at ASU Stadium. I mean, the stands are 90 degrees above your head. I blank. I think back on the performance and I blank because it was so muscle memory. It was rote muscle memory, and I was able to like get so in the moment that I have no idea what happened. But I remember coming off that field and thinking, oh my God, that was the coolest thing. And after the adrenaline came down and after we all came in our little huddle, I bawled, I was crying.
How do you challenge yourself?
It depends on the context. Part of it is about the hardware and the nice shiny medals and trophies and all that. But most of it for me is getting off of the field or getting off of the stage after a good performance or coming out of the audition room of a good audition and feeling how good it was.
What's your favorite music genre?
Jazz, for sure, jazz.
Jazz?
Yeah, it's an acquired taste. Like, I've heard people equate it to like spicy food, and personally I can't stand spicy food. I'm not made like that.
10 years down the road, what do you envision yourself doing?
And in 10 years, I don't know where I will end up, but my end goal is to found a research laboratory and be able to, you know, kind of field my own research, basing my post-high school plan off of what makes me happy. And, you know, I kind of figure it out as I go. It's always super interesting to me to see people who've made it, and I want to know where they came from. So give me a rundown of your kind of high school, college age life, and are you where you thought you were going to end up? Did your life take a hard left and now you are where you are? I want to hear about where you came from.
I have always been in education.
Mm-hmm.
My background is I was a student athlete in high school, I was a student athlete in college, ended up having an opportunity to play professional baseball with the Astros organization. As soon as I was finished playing baseball, I went right into education, started teaching, and then Bailey, one thing led to another. I started having interest in what does administration look like. I got my master's, I got my doctorate degree, and then I finally secured my first assistant principal job, and eventually a superintendent in over a period of about 14, 15 years. Generally speaking, Queen Creek High School as a whole, what has that experience been like?
You know, I love this school for the opportunities it's brought me and for the people that I've met. There is some real genuine passion in this school. I mean,
who have been the most influential people to develop that passion in your career so far?
So obviously there's Mr. Davenport, but I would also want to acknowledge Mr. Newt Wilson. He was the stepping stone between Mr. Davenport and me, and he was kind of like the middle ground where I could relate to him because he was young.
Are they tough? Do they have high expectations?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Mr. Davenport is very tough on all of his students. He was the one who actually inspired me to go out and try out for this All-State Jazz. I wanted to go out and do the audition process for a goal that I thought was never attainable. It's such a cliche story. I never thought I'd be able to do it. And I mean, I put in the time. I'd set up my little metronome and tuner on my stand and practice for an hour and a half every day. Eventually, the audition date came around. He was accommodating, came in on a Saturday and opened up the room for me. I knocked out my audition, and I got the news that I had made it into the top ensemble. I'm 4th chair.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you. And I never would have been able to do it if he had never urged me.